Good morning, Roadtown. Sabah al-Khair, which is Arabic for good morning. You can also say Sabah al-Nur, which means may the light of the day be upon you. For those who speak Spanish, buenos dias. French, bonjour. To my island friends, morning. Wagwan. And to my Italian friends, my paisans, buongiorno. Oggi è un giorno molto bello. And for my yoga practicing friends, namaste. Or if you're from my neighborhood, namastizzle. Today is a great day. I'm so thankful to be here. I'm delighted and honored to be on this stage. My name's Joe Brittingham. I'm also known in some circles as Crazy Joe. Crazy Joe has become my alter ego. He's my hero. And he can show up at any time, unannounced, to take over. Crazy Joe speaks in third person. He loves kite surfing and karaoke. But most importantly, Crazy Joe seizes the day. He faces his fears. And he does so filled with gratitude and hope. I love Crazy Joe. He's the reason I'm here today. And he makes a great alter ego. His superpower is mind reading. I don't know how he does it. The guy always knows what I'm thinking. By the way, if you don't have a superpower or alter ego, I highly recommend getting one. Kind of brings you back to your childhood dreams. It's a lot of fun. And you get a license to do kind of anything you want. Here's Crazy Joe playing chess with Richard Branson for the first time. He beat me that game. But here we are a couple years later on Mosquito Island, where I exacted my revenge. Yes, Crazy Joe loves a good game of chess, and he loves the BVI. When I was asked to speak at this conference, I was overjoyed, but I was also a bit anxious. I didn't know what my topic would be. I was overjoyed because becoming a speaker with impact has always been very important to me. So, ultimately, I wanted to kind of figure out what that was. I was asked initially to talk about blockchain technology, but I didn't feel qualified to speak at that at length. So I started writing and looked at it the next day thinking it was good, but then the next day I threw it away. And this happened day after day. Time was passing. Pressure was mounting. I think my curator was getting a little concerned. But she was full of support. So finally I said, I'll talk about my business. I've been a financial advisor for 23 years, 16 with a major investment firm, and the last 7 as an independent advisor running my own firm. I thought I could discuss what it was like to leave the comfort and security of a corporate job to the risks and rewards of independence. It was the hardest and scariest thing I ever did. I was terrified. I didn't know if I would succeed. And I have 5 other mouths at home to feed. I thought that might inspire someone. But I didn't think I'd hold your attention for 18 minutes. So I thought I'd talk about my first business in college, selling books door to door, 80 hours a week, taking rejection, 5 years to pay for college, building an organization, recruiting, training, managing, motivating, setting goals, and sharing in the success of others. Thought I'd be able to talk about principles that helped in that time, like the power of perseverance and the importance of positive thinking. Or simple things like how to deal with people, how to keep eye contact, a good handshake, and the art of listening. Crazy Joe says you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use in that proportion. But, again, didn't think it'd keep your attention for 18 minutes. So I opened my mind up to the universe and just asked, what could I discuss with you today that would keep you engaged the whole time and appeal to anyone of any time, anywhere in the world? So I thought, Psychology, that was my interest in college. I changed from economics to psychology. And I could talk about, how that's helped me with my clients managing portfolios during difficult markets or difficult family situations. Or I could talk about dreams, lucid dreams. I could go on at length about the creativity, inspiration, and guidance that we can harness and summon from the nighttime images we conjure in our sleep. But again, I didn't feel qualified to speak on that. So finally I said, Joe, you have to find your passion. Be your passion. What are you excited about? What could you talk about for hours about and keep people engaged? What do you love to talk about? And Crazy Joe jumped in and said, that's easy. I got it. We'll talk about my favorite subject. Me. So thank you for being here to give me an opportunity to speak about those things that matter most to me. My topic is what matters most. Now that could be a question or a statement. You can decide. For me, it's both. Because we have a limited amount of time. I've got a limited time on this stage, and we all have limited time in the stage of life. If you're lucky, you will find your purpose in that time. And you know it's your purpose when it brings you deep satisfaction and joy. It resonates deep in your heart. I've been very fortunate to find 3 things that give me that sense of purpose. And that's my family, coaching, and kite surfing. So meet my family. This is my beautiful wife, Kristen, and our 4 amazing children, Jacob, Tyler, Gianna, and Anna Lee. Kristen and I have been married almost 25 years now. This is us celebrating 20 on Necker Island. And for those of you who've been married a long time, you know it can be filled with beautiful moments and memories. But you also know it can be very difficult. Marriage is often riddled with conflict and compromise. I'm grateful to have a spouse who understands the importance of unity in a marriage. We struggle. We have our differences, but we pray for unity. Our oldest and tallest tribe member is Jacob. Very proud of him. He's got a big heart and big dreams. He's a freshman at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, go Mustangs, studying agricultural business. Big things for this man, young man coming up. His younger brother, Tyler, is a fantastic athlete. I don't think I've ever seen a young man put this kind of heart on the field. He loves baseball and soccer, and he is wise beyond his years. His younger sister, Gianna, beautiful and talented, loves soccer, basketball, and she plays guitar. Gianna's full of life and a joy to be around. And her equally beautiful, talented sister, Anna Lee, twin sister, loves soccer and basketball and loves art. Anna Lee has a remarkable disposition and sensitivity for people's feelings. She's quite diplomatic. I cherish every moment I get with these young people. Here we are getting ready to go sail the BVI a few years ago. Wonderful trip, big memories. Here we are at the Bitter End Yacht Club. You see lots of smiles. This is before Irma, of course. And here we are at home in Pismo Beach. And the happiness of these people matter most to me. Coaching. There are a few things in life that give me the satisfaction that coaching does. It's a great way to give back to your community. 10 years coaching baseball, 6 years coaching soccer. I think I've learned some of life's most important lessons from spending time with these young players on the field. A good coach will inspire, will encourage, praise, and empower the players. A good coach will also build a team spirit, sense of greatness within that team. I always like to use the acronym ACE for attitude, concentration, and effort. I'd explain to the players my only requirement as coach was that you give 100% on these 3 things because these are in your control. And if you do that, you're going to develop as a great player and we are going to be a great team. We set goals, written goals. And I learned something. I learned that everyone wants a moment to shine. Everybody wants to be great and to be part of something great and to participate and contribute in some way to that greatness. We work hard and we play hard and we celebrate one another individually and collectively. And when we are unified in spirit, we win championships. We become champions. We become almost like family. It's sometimes a dysfunctional family, but it is like family because we depend on one another and we have expectations of one another and we hold one another accountable. Some of you know San Luis Obispo is wine country, a lot of wineries out there. I assure you this is sparkling apple cider. Kite surfing, my passion. I love it. Been kite surfing for about 18 years. It's how I got the name Crazy Joe. This is Kinsley. Sadly, Kinsley is no longer with us. He died about 5 years ago following a very bad kite surfing accident. A few years before that ultimately took his life a few years later. Kinsley was an inspiration to so many people, including myself. Typical day in Kinsley's life would be to get up on his stand-up paddleboard. He knew where all the good fishing spots were. He'd fish off of his surfboard, catch fish in the morning. Afternoon winds come up, we'd go kite surfing, he and I often the last two on the water. And then as the winds dropped in the afternoon, he'd get his paraglider and go glide along the cliff before going home to cook the fish he caught that morning. Kinsley seized the day. And we have a saying in Pismo, which is to live like Kinsley. He's deeply missed. And he's the one who gave me the name Crazy Joe because he saw me doing tricks like this close to shore. And for 17 years, I had no problems with it until last year, April 12th, I too had a very bad kite surfing accident. It was a fluke situation. I was close to shore doing a routine trick. And somehow the kite looped, launching me close to 40 feet in the air. And at that moment, I feared for my life. I had a split second to decide what to do. And I just had to brace for impact. And I fell from that height into about that much water. Fortunately, I only tore a ligament in my right shoulder. I had surgery. And the doctor said I would have about 6 months of pretty hard physical therapy, but ultimately I would be back on the water again. And I'm happy to say that today I am back on the water, doing what I love to do, kite surfing, and following my passion. The only thing I really want to say about kite surfing is that it's what I love to do. And by following it, it has brought me here in front of you. And if you ever call my office after market hours and you hear that I am in a very important board meeting and cannot be disturbed, you now know why. So here is Crazy Joe's. Well, let me start with, we all have new beginnings, right? Sometimes we have new beginnings. And the question really is, how are you going to be finding your own dreams and can be the conductor of your own dreams? And how will you summon those things? Because really there's only the question of finding purpose in life. What is the purpose of life? To me, it's very clear. The purpose of life is to give life a purpose. How many of you have thought of that? And so my question to you is, what matters most to you? How many of you would gladly trade your net worth with that of Warren Buffett? Anyone? Yeah? Well, Warren's almost 90 years old. What if you had to trade ages with him for that deal to work? Who would do that? No. Because time is precious. It's becoming more scarce by the day. And there isn't a soul in this room who wouldn't one day give up everything they have for a little bit more of it. We all have life-defining moments in our lives where we have to choose who or what matters most. Today's world of social media distracts us sometimes. We have thousands of friends and likes, but the truth of the matter is, the people that really matter to you, you could probably count on two hands. I can think of at least a dozen times in my career where I have a client who's ready to pass on from this world, but who waits and suffers in the hopes of seeing someone they haven't talked to maybe for decades to say goodbye. And I've seen those people come to say goodbye. And in that moment, the only thing that matters is that they can share with the other person that they are loved. There's only two things we need to do in life, really. One is we all have to die one day. The other is we have to live with ourselves until we do. So here's Crazy Joe's challenge to you. To believe. Believe in yourself and have faith in things unseen. Because when you anchor your will to the immutable bedrock of faith, miracles happen. Miracles happen. And believe in your dreams, because they are within your reach. The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. And when you believe, the universe conspires to help you. Be willing to fail. Take the risk. Because even if you fail, you can hold your head high knowing you went down swinging. But if you never try, you'll never know what you're capable of. The time is now. Seize the day. Live like Kinsley. Because God made you to be great. He did not make you to walk on four legs and look at the ground. He made you to walk on two legs and look up at the stars. And to share once and for all in His greatness. Thank you.